I hate to break the fishing news after Chuck, but I'd like to speak about the ice hockey.
Congratulations, you're one of the 13 listeners of the Real Life Podcast.
We just traded a migraine in for like an orgasm.
Might want to mark that down.
Yep.
All of my projects are on schedule until they're not.
A member of the Nation Network of Podcasts.
About as funny as we're going to get today.
Welcome in, episode 173 of the Real Life Podcast. I'm Tyler Yaremchuk. Everyone else is joining me via FaceTime. Jay Wanye, Bagged Milk, and the man who now gets recognized for his podcast fame, Chris Chalmers. You touched on it in our preamble, and then I yelled at you guys and said you're wasting good podcast material. But how does it feel, Chalmers, to be recognized out in public now? You're like a celebrity.
Yeah. But since we're social distancing and I've been on isolation, it wasn't technically in public. But yes, I was dealing with one of the guys that were. I'm going to tell his company and everything. I think. What do we think?
Do the whole thing, man. Do the thing,
buddy. Okay, it's pandemic, man.
I've never met a soul that listens to this show. One soul.
Tyler, you're going to love the end of this because I actually didn't get to the end of his email until now. Okay. So I was going back and forth on email with a guy from Gem Cabinets. I've had about 3 big cabinet jobs that have just happened in the last couple of weeks. And what happens after the cabinets get put in is you book what they call a cab final. There's a lot of times where the flooring won't be in, or there'll just be a few moldings that have to be done after the fact. And so what you do is you book a cab final. They come in, they finish everything. So the guy that I'm back and forth with trying to schedule these cab finals with Gem Cabinets says to me on the email, he's like, hey, I noticed your name and I'm just curious. Are you the same Chalmers from the Oilers Nation Real Life Podcast? Because I was just listening to it. And so I write back, I'm like, yes, that's me. And it's cool that you listen. Like, what do you think of it all? And I get to the end of it. I get to the end of his email and he says, yes, I love the podcast. It's especially great listening now that we can have some Oilers talk. He ends the email with, also, if you ever need an embarrassing story of Tyler from his novice hockey days, let me know. I've got a funny one in the vault.
What was the name?
This guy's name is Eric Moon. Do you know him?
Oh, yeah. I remember Eric Moon. He's got a brother too. They're both from St. Albert. I don't think I ever went to school with them, but I played hockey with them a few times.
The Moon Brothers? Are they the Moon Brothers?
Warren Moon?
Warren Moon.
They sound scary. Were they hockey
boys? And his
boys,
younger brother, Larry.
Larry Moon.
Yeah, I don't remember when he played hockey up until, but I do remember like being on a team with him at least once. That's
maybe
good.
A novice?
Perhaps a novice when you were doing embarrassing things.
I guarantee you I remember once I scored on my own net, like really bad, like more or less picked up the puck and just fired it directly in on my own goalie, like wrist shot and all. So that's probably the story he's going at.
Didn't you do that once in the Edmonton Minor Hockey Week final when it was down to like just you and one other guy, and then you scored in your net or something?
No, I didn't score on my own net in Minor Hockey Week, but I was out there in 1-on-1 overtime when we lost. That was crushing as hell.
1-on-1 for all of Minor Hockey Week?
No, it was just the semifinals.
Oh, Jesus, that's pressure.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking.
You didn't pull the goalie to go 2-on-1?
No, and we had a face-off in the offensive zone face-off, too, and my coach didn't pull the goalie.
Coach?
Yeah, it was heartbreaking. I tried to deke around the guy. He just picked it right off my stick and went back the other way and scored. It was that's a tough one.
Devastating.
Yeah. But that's cool that he listens to the podcast. Hey,
no,
Eric.
It was totally cool. You know what? Yeah, it's totally cool because like I've ran into other people that have said that too, but like
for real?
Well, yeah, like just around and like people that I've known for a long time though, right? Like I've never met Eric, and for him to just kind of like throw that out there and for me to like, I don't know, I think it's cool because shit, I never get to hear from people. I mean, you hear from the same 5 or 6 guys on social media, like, you know, all the time, but
yeah, I call those people my friends, Chalmers.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, sorry, okay, not those people. I said we're not supposed to say those people, are we? They're our friends.
They are our friends.
I know they are.
Chalmers just sour because Surveyor Brett made a Chumgate t-shirt.
Yeah, and
it's actually pretty fucking good.
That would have been a great end of the email if he's like, "Oh, by the way, Chalmers, you cheated at fishing." You get all my cabinet business now.
Oh yeah, well they do get all my cabinet business now. They're a great company. Free plug for them just because I don't know, whatever. Because they listen to it, because they got guys who listen, man.
No, fucking right. We're a community supporting a community right now, man.
We are, and even in this like pandemic culture right now we're in, we were super safe and we were super responsible and everything went smooth. So that's all I can ask out of guys right now.
Good
Speaking
stuff.
of the pandemic, which is never far from anyone's mind.
Yeah.
You want to hear some shit about the pandemic?
Yes.
Always.
Here's what I read today on TMZ.com. Perhaps you get your news there as well. It said that Live Nation / Ticketmaster has changed their cancellation policy on how if you had tickets to a concert and it's been deferred or rescheduled, even if those delays are indefinite, you don't get your money back, right? And the president of Live Nation was on a call, and he said to analysts, he predicted live events will not occur until fall 2021 at the earliest.
Yikes.
So that's the world's concerts, the fucking music festivals. This is a company that deals exclusively, and their Ticketmaster, right?
Okay, so wait, when he says that they're not happening until then, is that like his prediction? Is that what his company is?
That's what his position as CEO of Live Nation Ticketmaster was on a call.
So he may know a thing or two.
Well, I think it's like good fan fiction. It's like when the strike happened, right? It was way more fun when you thought the strike might end any week now, right? But then at some point, remember, Jay, they were like, not till next year. And you were like, well, fuck. That's great, right?
So is he also, like, in that kind of thing, does that mean they won't, if somebody was to come up with a festival that was going to go on in the summer of 2021, which is, 2 months or 3 months before he's saying right now, like, is he saying that they wouldn't be the ticket supplier? Are they saying they're not doing anything with anybody until then?
No, he's saying like live events will not occur, like on any massive scale above, we'll say, some minimum threshold.
Oh,
and Ticketmaster, it's only cost effective for them to do an event if there's a minimum number of people. So he's saying, as a company that's strictly ticket revenue and shit, predicting no live events until fall 2021.
That could be like a doomsday scenario or like a worst case scenario, though, couldn't it? Like,
well, of course, it's not going to be like,
it
is doomsday, but I don't think a guy like that's going to necessarily give wildly distant predictions.
Well, no, but that from the very beginning when everybody was saying this, and it was like one of those things where it's like, okay, so if it does take 12 to 18 months for a vaccine and then they have to still roll it out to everybody, that time frame was about worst case scenario fall 2021. So I wonder if he's going by that kind of predictable data or something.
But that would then also mean the same for sport, wouldn't it?
Yeah. No, because they can play in, like that. This means people getting into a building, so they could still be playing sport.
Oh yeah, just no live fans. Yeah,
like they're already. Did you see on social? They're already playing baseball in Japan, and there was a freaking
China. There was a.
Oh, is it China?
Yeah, there was a bit of
China.
I just love the way Trump says
China.
There was a bench clearing brawl in a stadium without fans.
Yeah,
classic.
Oh yeah. If there's one thing during this pandemic in terms of like running a company is I've been planning for the worst and then reverse engineering and then working backwards from that because if you want to have a fighting chance to stay alive, you gotta be prepared for the worst.
Yep.
And I think that's what that might be because I don't think there's ever going to be like a hard date where it goes from no one is allowed, there are no gatherings, no events, and then like magically on October 1st, 2021, it's like, all right, open them up to 30,000 people if you want. Won't it be kind of more gradual? Like we're allowing 1,000 and then 5,000 and then 10,000 and then 20,000 type of thing.
I think it's going to be when you have a vaccine, you can do whatever you want again. And then when there's enough critical volume of vaccines, people are going to demand to be able to travel. They're going to like the first person who gets a vaccine and knows they can do whatever they want is going to go on a bender of benders because they're not worried.
So here's my question though. Like, let's say they get all this testing done where like you can basically be walking around with a test kit that you can test yourself morning and night, and every person can get one, and they do it by September. I just my biggest thing is what is going to happen with the NFL. That's all. Like there's so much money.
How dare you? What's going to happen with Connor McDavid?
No, because whatever happens with the NFL starts before that, buddy. Whatever happens with the NFL will trickle down to the other sports. It is the highest revenue league. It is the most that is the one that has to go. For TV
they can do crazy. They can do crazy. Like remember that movie 2012?
Yep.
No.
Remember that, Jay? Remember we watched that movie and it didn't have subtitles?
We watched it in Spain without subtitles. So anytime they were speaking a foreign language, which it was a movie about a global crisis, about foreign languages, it would always be translated in Spanish.
And
So
everybody
really
around
lost.
us would know what was going on. They'd all be laughing at jokes and shit, and we had no idea because it was Japanese into Spanish. But the money that the people had to make their own cruise ships and shit, the same money will come into play to restore the NFL, right? And it could be that they isolate every organization in a hotel in their home city and fly special 747s with F-18s and live stream that shit, and everybody donates to a Venmo, right? Like, the will to bring football back will be huge.
What are the F-18s for? To shoot off the coronavirus?
No, just for effect.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
okay,
here
sure.
come the Dallas Stars entering into Pittsburgh airspace. And you can look in the sky and see the fucking F-18s. Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'd feel safe.
Dope.
I would too.
That's dope.
I just think we're obviously going to get sports back with no fans in before anything else. Then I even think there'll be a stage where it's like, all right, you can have 5,000 people in your 20,000 seat arena, but it's because they're spaced out. Like, it's only every second row going up and only like 4 people per row.
I would
You
say
have to be able to bring your own booze or something because you couldn't have food lineups.
I'd pay big money to be in that crowd because just to see what it looks like and just to like witness that. Oh my God.
It would look like Florida.
Yeah, but I've never been to Florida, so
Just working that out, just working through that scenario tells me this is going to go on for so much longer than we realize. Like, unless you have a doctor giving you a certificate, like you graduated from kindergarten, saying you have a shot and you're good to go, maybe there's 5,000 people there, but the exposure, the risk is still the same, right?
Yeah, you would be kind of operating at your own risk in society.
All right.
That's good news.
That's great. On a beautiful sunny day, I now feel like it's raining and 4 degrees.
I wonder if that's going to stop. If that's going to stop musicians from releasing their albums.
No, so this is like they'll still release music. Sports can come back, like you said, no spectators. That's fine, right? Like that.
But if you release an album, the next thing you do is you go on tour. That's worth $100 million.
But maybe there's something. Well, there's no money to be. No one's buying them tickets. That's for sure.
Well, that's what I mean. So
they got to know. So Drake is working on an album right now, and he says he's going to be done right away.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, like,
he'll release that.
Yeah, a guy like him before 2021, the fall of 2021, if he was to start touring then, could have potentially 2 to 3 albums out by then.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
If he worked over the whole time. Could you imagine? And then he just tours for like 5 years.
But think, like, what can come back and what can't come back is an interesting game to play. Like a TV show, you can probably bring a TV show back.
Yeah.
Right?
What TV shows are in jeopardy right now?
All TV shows are in jeopardy.
No, but imagine if it was like they were filming Game of Thrones season 7 or whatever the last season was, and they were halfway through it and they couldn't finish doing it.
All cable television is at risk. Anything like Netflix,
what are people going to care about? I mean, like, what's the one that everybody's thinking about that they're like, oh my God, I'm not going to get my last season for like another 2.5 years.
Playoff 2020, God damn it.
Is that all? Is that it?
Well, but so it'd be much easier to bring back hockey than to film season 8 of Game of Thrones or whatever season you people are at.
Would it though?
Yeah, I don't think it would. I think it'd be easier to do. I don't know.
I'm the opposite because there's teams in every city that need to pile in and be doing this travel thing.
Once you move everybody into a super bubble, right? Once you took the whole Major League Baseball and put them at the Grapefruit League, and then everybody had buses going around and F-18s were flying over 50 seconds, and they were playing Highway to the Danger Zone and shit, people will watch that.
But you need a league with 30 teams full of players and staff. You need camera crews to record these games still. You need, production staffs and all that. With a TV show,
minute Bud Light
it's just one cast and crew.
They're going to do it for America.
Yep. Bud Light brought baseball back. Ooh, that's powerful.
Powerful.
Maybe Nation Beer can bring hockey back.
Nation Beer should try and bring back the entire league of the prospects.
Maybe. We can bring back one pitcher, a reliever.
If you don't have the means as a sport or as a business to go to these crazy health quarantine rules that you would need to do to make it work, right? Yeah. Nobody could take the field in an NFL game unless they knew they weren't sick. And there'd need to be like a larger reserve team than normal in case people got sick.
what I wouldn't give to go to a Prospects game right now.
Well,
Crush a couple beers in the
Listen
sun.
there, Chalmers. I'll throw a ball up in the air and go 0 for 80 trying to hit it. That could be your baseball game. Here he goes again, boys. Whiff.
So what the hell you guys been up to all weekend? What'd you do all weekend?
I almost don't even remember.
I joined up with my sister and her husband down the street and made a quarantine for a couple of days.
Oh, I like that. You know what? Speaking of your sister and her husband, you know what I was doing? I've been making a point of when I'm late at night, when I've had a few too many drinks, joining as many house parties as I can when they don't lock the room. So what it is, I don't know if you guys have been on House Party yet, but it's this app where you guys can see anybody that joins. It's everybody's open, and if people go in a room, like if I create a room and I add the 4 of us and we start talking in there, anybody that is friends with one of us can jump in the room. It's not locked unless you lock it. So when you go into this House Party app, you can play like games. They've got like little buttons on the side where you can do like a trivia game between all the people that are hanging. And so I just go into House Party when I see it, and I'll see people's parties. So this weekend I did it with JR and the Aussies, like Josh Brown and Ursula from Australia.
Oh yeah.
And then Sean and Aaron Green, and then there was JR and Ash, and I just jumped in, but I don't stay too long. I never wear out my welcome. I stay for about 30 seconds. I say cheers and I make a joke and then I rip.
It's more like he just pops and all of a sudden a new tile pops in and it's just Chalmers. He's like, ha ha ha, crashing your face, crashing your what the hell is it called again? House party. Crashing your house party. Ha ha ha. Cheers. Hope you're having fun. And then disappears. And we're like, what the hell was that?
Yeah. And then I just you come in for a quick hello and that's fun.
You pop into a convo, just huge circle jerk.
It was
going
great.
On.
Yeah. You might want to lock it. You might want to
lock your house party.
That's the dream. That's what you hope you jump into.
So anyway, that's what I was doing some of this weekend, late at night.
The lesson here is to always lock your house party if you're doing a circle jerk.
Chalmers will find you.
Online circle jerk, 100% Chalmers crashes it. That's the fucking moral of the story. Yeah. He will find you. Don't worry how.
No, I know which ones not to go into. I just have to look at the names in it. Anyway,
it's weird. It's weird how everybody's going through a thing together.
Oh yeah, man.
It's very strange. This is the thing now. This is the biggest thing that's ever happened in any of our lives, and it has the same craziness all around the world.
I'm really enjoying watching what is like becoming really hot all of a sudden. Like in our group of friends, like, you know, the trivia has become big. Now everybody wants to do a trivia. Everybody wants to host trivia, and we're going to have trivias every like Friday night, I'm guessing, coming up pretty soon because we did one and it was amazing. But also another buddy of ours got a PlayStation 4. Now everybody wants to just play, like, get a PlayStation 4, play golf, play hockey online, like, just play each other, you know, because, man, people are bored.
Crazy bored, man.
Yeah.
Crazy bored.
I've gotten into poker for the first time in my life, which is probably an unhealthy habit considering I like to gamble. But that's the one thing me and my friends have started doing is just playing a lot of online poker amongst ourselves. I'm terrible at it. Like, I'm fucking trash, but...
you playing for money?
Oh, yeah, we play for money. I haven't won once. Actually, the same guy has won, like, every game we've played, so he's raking.
Right now, Chalmers, all I hear is the Jaws theme and Jay just circling. Like, oh, really, money? You play for it? You're not very good? Oh, we can play. I'm not very good either. In fact, I don't really even know the rules.
Yeah, JR's doing well at his poker this week. Like, we play Wednesdays and Saturdays. That's the other thing, is, Remchuk, if you don't want to get out of hand, make, like, a weekly day, like, Wednesday, Saturday maybe, or something, like.
Yeah, we've been doing like Thursdays and Sundays are kind of our days. Start the weekend, end the weekend.
Too, yeah.
Our Saturday ones get a little wild sometimes. They can go till 3 a.m. and funny stories come out of it.
It's funny how people will pass out when their computer's on and not even not notice.
People fall asleep in front of their computer.
We did a trivia night. Chalmers was there like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Cheese hosted it. And we had 2 people pass out.
It was so funny.
How?
Granted,
how do you not have the
live.
mindset to be like,
because they're not the only person on their screen. So they're like, you know, they just don't want to leave. They want to be a part of it. And the next thing they know, and their computer's still going because the other person's still playing. And next thing you know, they nod off, man. happens.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
It
I
is
don't
pretty funny.
I don't condone it, but I also applaud it. So
Oh yeah.
We're at the 20-minute mark of our podcast, so we got to give some love to our fantastic sponsors, including Japa Machinery. Check them out on Twitter at Japa Equipment, online, japamachinery.com. And if you go to their Twitter, they had a nice little video up there of some new arrivals that showed up the other day, a sneak peek of them unloading the XCMG, and get ready for this, XMR 403 SVT, a 51-inch combi roller. You can call them at 780-962-5272 if you want to set up a demo. And who wouldn't want to demo one of those?
I do. I want to.
Holy Christ! That thing hit the brakes. You can't beat the brakes on an
I didn't know it was
XCMG
a question. Did it?
Yeah. Just that came to a very abrupt end. Like
Also,
society.
also a big shout out to Oodle Noodle and Nation Beer. Do we have another Nation Beer update? Everything shipped out. Everything was delivered well for round 2.
well, that's aside from Chalmers crashing our house party. That's what I was up to this weekend was delivering beer across the city. So we launched the second batch, and it sold out. That's fucking crazy. It sold out in 24 hours. And we also found out that Nation Beer is now in 40 liquor stores across Alberta.
How's that possible?
I don't know.
What?
It's weird where there's like 5 liquor stores in Calgary carrying it.
So liquor stores just like call up the government, right? And they get all their booze from one place.
Yeah, so clearly they heard about it or saw about it through us or Dog Island through our channels, and then they order it, and it's just funny to see where it goes.
So so they just order it and then they order like maybe 10 flats and then just put it in their store and sell it?
Yeah, just carry like
Fucking
you
love
would buy
it.
Bud Light. Yeah, it's crazy. So
But it's weird because you don't you have to go around, but they're doing it on their own. They sign up themselves.
yeah, so eventually this will just be something that lives purely in the liquor store ecosystem. But as it continues to grow, we're going to keep doing deliveries every couple of weeks. So the boys at Dog Island. Yeah, well, it gets me out of the house, which is great. I had like a 20-minute chat on. I had a 20-minute chat on Saturday with Surveyor Brett on his driveway.
I'm surprised he had enough time to do that while he's just making shirts and surfing me online all the time.
Oh yeah, he squeezed in time to interact, and then I went out to Leduc and spent like 30 minutes talking to the Stepankos. They gave me a beautiful gift. Lisa Stepanko made me a.
Yeah, she gave you a bottle of wine and you delivered them beer.
Yeah,
how the fuck's that work?
Oh, it's hilarious. Whiskey woman's like shit. Because Jared delivered to her. If he was like if he would have waited, I was gonna cut him up some steaks. I'm like, holy cow, people are just so nice. It's crazy. But it's wild.
If Surveyor Brett actually knew that if he made 20 of those Chumgate t-shirts and charged whatever he wanted to, that I know 20 people that would buy them tomorrow.
Oh yeah, best believe I'd be buying one.
Chalmers, we have our own clothing line, right?
Well, then start selling.
We have our own supply chain and we have our own designer.
I hope he knows he gets nothing for the design side of that shirt.
You should just put his Twitter handle and his SIN number on the back of the shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here's his pin.
We just have to change it just a little bit. Just like change one little thing.
As long as it infers you cheated at something, which makes you mad, I'm in.
Yeah, this guy, fuck him.
What if your derby is canceled, boys?
Oh, we've already talked about that.
It'll just be postponed.
Like Live Nation concerts?
We might miss a year.
Fine.
You never know.
Like, technically, we could do
you could do a virtual Jumgate something.
Oh, we could do it at a social distance. We just need more boats.
Here's how you do it. Everybody in the derby gets a fifth wheel. You're not allowed to share. You circle the fifth wheel, and each person has to be in their own boat.
A fifth wheel?
Isn't that what you call them?
Trailer. Well, there's trailers, fifth wheels.
No,
whatever it is.
I was like, how do we get a fifth wheel on the lake to go fishing off of it?
No, you live in it. So rather than all staying in the cabin, everybody has to stay in their own shit.
Oh yeah, I'd sleep in my truck if it meant we could have the derby. But also I think we just all buy a paddleboard and then just paddleboard out there. Everybody needs a paddleboard.
That's true.
Well, hey.
And then watching people paddleboard out there when they're that hammered on the third round would be just hilarious.
You have to cancel the
Dangerous.
circle jerk, of course.
What?
You have to cancel that. Not this day and age.
What do you mean? With
You can do it on the house go in your room and go on house party. Everyone go on your fifth wheel. Go on house party. You can still do it.
Yeah.
Chalmers, your favorite part of the Derby is restored. Don't worry, it'll be fine.
I got a question.
Okay.
Do we have anything to talk about with the Oilers? Because that is one of the things people like to talk about. I've noticed from the emails and the
it'd be great if we could talk about the Oilers. It'd be amazing if the season was canceled.
Here's one thing.
Ask the guy who wants NFL back and doesn't even put hockey in the same conversation.
No, I never said that I wanted it back. I said that's the one that's going to be the barometer for what happens. You got to listen better. You always do that. You try to switch it around.
That's right. The old switcheroo. The old flip play.
Okay, so tell me something. How the hell was your buddy Larvinen from Finland playing NHL against UC Puljujärvi or Jesse Puljujärvi? Yeah,
because Larvinen's a fucking big. Larvinen's a giant deal in Finland. He was playing with a bunch of other NHLers too.
So why doesn't he talk this guy into not being such a dipshit and doing something with his life?
Jesus.
Ouch. So it's an interesting subject. Puljujärvi is a bit polarizing in Finland
and Edmonton.
Well, yeah, definitely in Edmonton. Because like when I talked to Esa Tikkanen, not a big deal about Puljujärvi. He was just like, I could slap that kid right now, just because
that's what Curry said when I talked to him.
Well, I also did talk to Curry on that same trip. We just, but we were talking more about our love for Edmonton and Puljujärvi. Yeah. So we didn't get that too far there. But next time I'm down Phil, I'll make sure Yari and I pick up where we left off.
You call that talking to Yari Curry?
I'd be talking to guys like Raimo Ruotsalainen and stuff. I wouldn't get to the Curry factor.
That story of you meeting Curry was amazing. We told that on the show, or did we tell it in real life?
Told it on the show.
Yeah, we told it on real life.
Wow.
I think we told it on both podcasts.
Yeah. And that's why we got to put together the trip to Finland, because Larvinen is a big deal and he can make sure we have a crazy experience. So that'll probably be a 2021 thing now.
Okay, next week. Oh, sorry.
Well, you were just asking about him playing player. That's why he's a big deal, and players are bored, and they know Puljujärvi's got a big channel, so they just doing fun stuff because Larvinen's just creating content at a fucking voracious rate.
Is he really?
Oh yeah. Well, he never stops, right? So his following, I was talking to Tommy the other day, who's one of the guys that hosted me in Finland, and he's like Jonas's following is just getting bigger and bigger because he's not stopping.
They call Larvinen Jonas?
Well, that's his real name.
So if you're talking like real street talk in Finland, you don't call him Larvinen, you call him Jonas?
If you're on the inside.
Interesting.
That's what I mean. That's a call.
I'm changing my vocab now.
Are you at Jonas' stature yet, Jared?
Of course. But I still call him Larvinen too, just because it's just like...
It's like calling Jay-Z Sean versus Jay-Z.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Jonas, dear friend.
A dear friend.
A dear friend.
A dear good friend.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's why Chalmers.
No, that's cool. But here's the other thing. For all the Oilers that are really missing hockey right now, I'm going to do something because of one single tweet that I never even thought of doing, and I'm going to enjoy every minute of it. I saw Colin Hanks put out a tweet that said, "How am I just finding out that there's a documentary on the Oilers in 1986-87? That documentary is called Boys on the Bus, and I remember watching it all the time when I was a kid. And I am going to find that thing. I just saw the tweet today, but I will be finding that, and I will be playing it for my kids within the next 48 hours. I guarantee it.
Boys on the Bus?
Boys on the Bus, man. I love that show. It was good.
You've got a VCR?
No, you got to be able to find it somewhere. You got to be, like, YouTube, I have it. Guaranteed.
Oh, yeah, fair.
I wonder if you can watch online. If you can find it online, let me know. Boys on the Bus.
Oh, I guarantee you.
Oh, you can find it online, guaranteed. It's probably on
OnlyFans?
Yeah. Bag Milk OnlyFans channel?
Yeah, I think I found it already, actually.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, it is up on YouTube. I think 1.5 long video.
Oh, yes.
Led to believe that is the one. So
the soundtrack to Boys on the Bus.
Oh, it's going to be all 8. It's
amazing.
All 80s tunes.
It's amazing, man.
You're
like,
who
went to the trouble? What's the soundtrack to Oil Change? Nothing. Soundtrack to Boys on the Bus is like the Ferris Bueller soundtrack. It's iconic.
Oh yeah, but it's like montage songs, like from Team America or something.
Yeah, it is, man. Like somebody went to an effort to make it like edited to be like snappy. It's funny.
Oh, I love it. Bag Milk, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right, man.
How's isolation life?
I actually got pretty banged up over the weekend. I went out of my buddy's driveway, and we just got completely shit-faced from 10 feet apart. It was fun.
What day was that? Saturday?
We did it on Saturday, and then we had such a good time Saturday that I was back there again yesterday. Well, I had to ride a bike. I had to ride a bike from his house back to my house because, we drank way too much, more than expected. So then I rode back there with the intention of getting my vehicle again. And then
just got hammered again?
Yeah, then it just started over again. So sometimes you hit the old driveway beers a little harder than planned.
That's a lot of fun. How was your Nation happy hour on Friday?
It was good, man. Friday was easily the biggest one that we've done so far. A lot of fun people jumped in, just shooting the shit, having drinks. It's a good time.
How many views are we getting right now?
A few hundred right now, and it's growing week by week. So hopefully this week I'll be able to beat last week's record, and we'll just get more and more people as it starts to become a routine.
Wanye, what would it take for you to wear a mask and join it?
Of course.
And then have a drink? You do it?
Sure.
Don't you have a luchador mask?
That's a fucking no, by the way.
No, I do it. No, I do it.
Wanye's been on VCast before, so you could just do it the exact same way that I do.
And I was there this week.
Oh, like you were in the crowd?
Yeah, he was commenting his dog patch.
Yeah, my other phone was dead. I could only talk his dog patch. But no, I was there. I'd go on. I wouldn't show my face, but I'd go on.
No, of course. Yeah. Of course.
No, yeah, it's good, man. It's a fun little way to connect with people and have a chat, and sometimes you learn some weird stories about people, and it's fun. I'm always looking forward to whoever I talk to.
How long are you guys doing it for? Is it like 30 minutes, hour?
I've been doing an hour, and they just fly by.
They fly by.
Mm-hmm. Oh, shit, eh?
The original plan was that I was just going to do it for like 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, say hi, just shoot the ship, and then an hour passes, and you don't even realize it. So it's been a lot of fun.
You're good at it, Bagmouth, because it's almost like Rogan in that it's like background stuff. You can do something while you're on the podcast. It feels like you're hanging out with people.
Yeah, and I mean, I just have a couple of topics that I want to ask people about. They give their input and give some answers, and sometimes you get a good story, sometimes you get a weird story, and it's just kind of a nice little mix of random that is a fun way to end the week.
Have you had anybody from like Edmonton media come in, like that's not associated with Oilers Nation or anything?
Not yet.
Get the likes of a Gregor or Brownlee in there.
Some star power.
Tyler Remchuk's been in there.
I chugged a beer.
No. He's legit.
No,
he chugged a beer.
Remchuk did chug a beer, and he was. People were big fans of your Remchuk chugging a beer.
They are. Get quarantine gun in there.
Oh God! You know what? We should highlight him.
What's that?
Neil Thomas.
Our club champion.
Chalmers, I've gone to so far as Winnipeg to be his caddy at the Canadian Amateur.
Wanye, pull him up on Twitter every Saturday. Every Saturday, he just starts shotgunning beers.
Oh, I saw him doing this.
It's great.
That's a regular thing?
He doesn't stop, man. He did 8 on Saturday.
And he's shotgunned 8 beers in a row.
Not in a row. He creates certain circumstances for him to shotgun.
Wow. It's awesome.
We should, you know what? We should do something. We should give him some nation beers.
Because I don't know if we talked about.
Yes.
I'm gonna text him right now while we're on the podcast.
We talked about this at the very beginning of quarantine, but our hockey team tried to stay connected by everybody kind of shotgunning something, and it started getting very progressively worse, where guys were just shotgunning like whole fucking things of vodka and stuff. It was awful, but like. This is a real thing, man. People want to drink when they're quarantined. I don't know what it is.
I just sent him a text. Do you want to quarantine gun some nation beers?
yeah, it's awesome.
He basically gets dressed like he's going to a full moon party, and he puts on a wig, and he crushes beers, and he's got a family too. So once in a while, like his kids
the kid comes walking by.
Come in.
How old are the kids?
Oh, young, like 4.
Our buddy has like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins syndrome, your Remchuk.
Like me.
So he's been like the same. Yeah, he's been the same age as long as we've known him.
Oh yeah,
And now he's married and has 2 kids, but still looks 14. Like it's fucking bizarre. Best golfer you'll ever meet.
What's his name? How can I find him on Twitter?
Timothy Tour on Twitter.
Timothy Tour?
At Timothy Tour on Twitter.
Jay, is it fair to say he's the best golfer that we know of all time?
Oh yeah.
Well, to be fair, it'd be a toss-up between him and Brock because Brock is currently the club champion. So him and Brock are very good.
And they're good buddies.
And they're very good buddies. They're both crazy good golfers.
Yeah,
they are.
Yeah, Neil's crazy good golfers.
We sometimes bring them on the nation golf team, and people hate us for that, but it's fun.
Well, I mean, naturally, they should hate you for that.
Yeah, I would too. Like the two, like they're single-handedly number 1 and number 2 in the city.
Yeah,
it was weird, man. So one time we were out golfing, and randomly they're like, "Oh, we're going to Winnipeg for the Canadian Amateur," and I was like, "Oh, who's your caddy?" And they said, "Well, you don't have caddies because you don't make any money. You have to caddy has to pay for themselves." So somehow or other, I found myself out there caddying for Neil in him and Brock's group. And like the people that are in those tournaments are so fucking good, right? And then you're like, why isn't this the PGA? Like, there's people better than this. Like, professional golfers on that level, they're just disgusting. Even like people you've never heard of at the Canadian Amateur, like they're just lights out good.
I'm watching some of these videos on like preview mode, and not to be disrespectful, this guy does not look like he has young children. And his Twitter, nothing on his Twitter feed leads you to believe he has young children.
He's one of those guys. He's Nugent Hopkins. That's what
he's a Nuge, man. He's just like
he's one of those guys. He's going to look like he's 22
Bagmilk
50. Yeah, Bagmilk does have it.
No, it's going to be a pact of Satan, though. So
if I had your syndrome, I'd probably show my face, Bagmilk, straight up.
Yeah.
I remember when Neil got like engaged and he put his photos on Facebook. I was like, it's weird. It's like he's like friends with his like older, hotter chick. Like they don't look like they're the same age. It looks like Neil's like at his brother's grad with his date or something. And it's like, no, this is my wife.
Let's see. He's at 199 followers on Twitter right now. So let's see if we can grow the legend that is
Timothy Tour.
Gun. We're gonna have to give him a different flag.
I want him to know that I'm the one that brought this up too. I never get credit for stuff like this.
Oh yeah, this is. So if you guys don't like it, it was all Chalmers.
yeah, Chalmers.
If you guys feel like he shouldn't be gunning years around his kids, well then you're clearly not from Alberta.
Clearly he himself is a child as well, and we're really encouraging underage drinking.
And it's funny because he's got like a professional career too, like in terms of work. Yeah, so it's awesome.
He's dressed up as a tiger in one.
Oh yeah,
timely.
So the one thing that I love everything about this person, except for there's one thing I can't get past. He wears 2 golf gloves when he golfs.
Yeah.
One on his right hand and one on his left.
It's because he plays so much. He gets like chapped hands, buddy. I was his caddy. Trust me, I was on the bag. I know.
Well, Tiger Woods doesn't wear 2 gloves.
He has eczema on his hands, man. He wasn't able to play. He had to stop playing because of it. Trust me, I was on the bag. I know the whole situation. He got really chapped hands, and then the doctor's like, it's either wear 2 gloves. He's starting to put salve on them and shit. Because imagine he had chapped and cracked hands. You're still trying to play college golf. It was a whole situation, Sean.
It's because he's dehydrated from all the beer gunning.
From all the chicks he's been you-know-whatting back in the day.
Oh.
What?
Don't worry, your M-Chuck. No one's listening. Now, speaking of no one's listening, didn't we get questions from people who weren't listening?
Did you hear the one? There's that one question on Instagram.
Let's get to some questions.
Your M-Chuck?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I was reading through Timothy's Twitter and was just totally zoned out of this podcast. Let's get to some questions. For those who weren't following along on social media, every Monday episode now, we're going to end it by taking a few questions from you, the listener. So you can reach out. Our DMs are always open on Instagram and Twitter.
Real life. Yeah.
At Nation Real Life, or you can just like start commenting on posts, or if you drive around Edmonton long enough, you'll find the Nation truck, and then just go stand outside Jay's house and start screaming questions at him. He'll get them. He'll get them written down.
The Nation truck needs to be washed so bad. All this beer delivery is just it's filthy. I'm sorry, Sherwood Ford. I'm gonna clean it soon.
DM me at Smigarowski, and I'll give you a quadrant of where JR lives. So I'm not gonna give you his address. I'll tell you whereabouts.
Okay, we're gonna start. We're gonna start with a question from Surveyor Brett. He was one of the first people to chime in.
Yeah, cool. Can't wait.
He asks if you could own and operate your own Tiger King style amusement park. what kind of animal would you want your park to be centered around? You can get as fucking weird as you want with this one. Off the top of my head, I want to say something like gorillas because or monkeys or something.
That's me.
But they're like wicked smart, so I feel like you could teach them to do like wild shit. But at the end of the day, I also feel like keeping a bunch of gorillas and teaching them to get really smart is just a death sentence. So I almost would pass on the opportunity. Yeah, like would they not just overthrow me?
I wouldn't want to listen. I wouldn't want to live anywhere close to a Planet of the Apes style farm. That's for sure.
Jay, you were in agreement with me?
Oh, I love gorillas. They're my spirit animal. Now, in the light of Tiger King, would you also have a polygamy commune associated?
Oh, you have to.
I would assume it comes with it, yeah.
Why would you get into the zoo business if not for the polygamy?
Yeah, that's fair.
Does anyone else have an answer? Bagged milk?
Yes,
Wanye?
I would have a human zoo. Because society's evolving. So I would have a zoo of Karens, uppity white women I keep in cages. And they're happy. Like, I give them toilet paper and whatnot. But all they do is complain. So you go up to the bars, and you're like, hey, look, there's a Karen. And she's like, go and get the manager and tell her to come here.
But you are the manager.
Yeah, and I'm like, Karen, shut up. You're here of your own free will.
There is no internet argument that makes me more mad right now than like the news outlets that are putting out like, is the term Karen becoming derogatory? Is it racist?
Yes,
and it's
is.
like, what? How?
It
What?
is. And it's very accurate.
It's hilarious.
Brad, Chad, and Karen?
Yeah.
Well, then that also means that Randys out there have to be upset for being known as party guys. We've been like a good Randy.
Oh, a Randy party guy?
Yeah, man.
I thought that was also like, you're getting busy with somebody. You do that a lot.
Randy's when you desire to become amorous.
Oh. Well,
Yaremchuk, my zoo is filled with centaurs. I feel like it would be cool. It'd be cool to have people look at centaurs, and also I would have somebody to talk to, just build relationships and conversations. So you can talk about how smart gorillas are, but they're nothing compared to my centaur commune, where they're
Are
not
centaurs? Sorry to interrupt really quickly. Are they able to talk, centaurs?
To be honest, Wanye, I'm not really well versed in Greek mythology outside of.
And you want to be entrusted with a centaur zoo?
There's no better time than now to learn. That's all.
I don't believe they talk. I believe they grunt.
But don't they have human heads?
Yeah.
So how would they not be able to talk?
Well, do they have the brains of a horse or the brains of a human?
If the top half is human, then the whole thing is human.
No, a centaur isn't half man, half horse.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So Newton Hercules is a centaur. What's the one that are on the two?
Oh, yeah,
a minotaur. I'm thinking of a minotaur. Sorry, my mythology.
What's a minotaur?
That's the two-legged one. That's half human, half it's
That's
half
a centaur
human, half.
too.
No, a minotaur is not a centaur.
Minotaur is like a miniature centaur. You only get two of the legs.
But, two legs.
A minotaur's got like a bullhead though.
Yeah, it's got a bull head, Bigfoot body, human characteristics.
Duck bill feet.
That's a platypus.
I want to be the one that gets the horse cock. That's all I know.
Okay.
Well, then you are welcome at my centaur farm because they are going to be everywhere and they're going to be roaming free, and they'll also be able to have conversations with you about their experience in life. That'd be great.
I don't know that you've done enough homework to be entrusted with a license for a centaur farm. Like, am I going to walk down there and it's just a bunch of lazy centaurs being like, hey, man, can you go get bag milk? We're bored again. Like, that's boring.
Well, no, like I'm picturing like giant hamster wheels for them to run on.
Oh, nice.
Some maybe little hotel-esque spots for the centaurs to canoodle with each other so that we can keep reproducing more centaurs for me to sell. Obviously. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of starting a centaur sex farm so that I can sell them off and be very much in the spirit of Joe Exotic.
I could do that at my Karen farm.
Oh, God.
What?
I care.
Okay.
Well, then they're going to have to learn how to produce asexually then.
Oh, God.
Give me another question.
Yeah. I was going to go on a big rant about kangaroos and how you can build your own kind of UFC type fighting ring with them, but
I'm pretty sure Michael Vick got in trouble for doing something rather similar to that.
But dogs fight to the death. Kangaroos box.
Do you think a kangaroo would know, like, oh, I knocked out this other kangaroo, ring the bell, I won?
With enough training, of course. And enough.
I've got I've got a real problem with the kangaroos also. Have you ever seen like the ones that are super jacked?
Oh, yeah.
That weirds me out. I don't like it.
There's one in particular that is annoyingly jacked at how good he looks.
What are you, jealous of a kangaroo, Chalmers?
Yeah. Wait till you see this kangaroo. Dude's got pecs for days.
I've seen an alpha kangaroo like that when we went golfing in Australia. Obviously, it's the most cliche thing you can see is a kangaroo on a course. I remember I saw the leader of the pack,
and he was flexing at us.
He was jacked. It was so cool.
Jacked up kangaroos, name of the episode.
So it would be a jacked kangaroo zoo.
You can go on to the next question because I'm not answering Brett's question.
Okay. Big thanks to Surveyor Brett for helping us get completely off the rails there for a solid 8 minutes. Okay, we got a couple here that are fairly interesting. Electronic Jordan had a business one for those of you running your own businesses. He said Wanye and Jay, but Chalmers can be included in this one. He wants to know, what is your proudest business achievement? And that's what we're doing with the question segment. You can have just ridiculous ones like Surveyor Brett, but if you have a business question, maybe a home rental question for Chalmers or a super nerdy hockey question for myself and Bagged Milk, send them out there. But Electronic Jordan on Twitter wants to know, what is your guys' proudest business achievement? I'll start with you, Jay.
Oh man, you got to prep me with that question.
Why don't I go first then?
I gotta get deep thought. But
Chalmers go first.
Let me go first because mine's easy. I mean, we've from the very beginning of our house building company, my dad was building 40 to 50 houses a year, and that was proud for him. That was a lot of work for me. I was just a construction manager's assistant at that point. So in the next couple of years, our business changed a few times, and every time it changed, it got a little bit better in what we did. But at one point, there was a house that had been built 14 years ago by my uncle, and at this point, I had also built houses that were this style. They were red Georgian, like Victorian mansions, so to speak. And this guy's house flooded, and it was an insurance job, and it was going to be over $1 million to renovate and fix this house. And he only trusted it with me and my dad and my uncle. But my uncle and my dad had kind of stepped back a little bit at this point. Because everything was custom made in the house 14 years ago by my uncle, and then I had taken over my uncle's company, and then it wasn't around anymore. He trusted me with it, and in this house there was a whiskey cellar, there was a whiskey room for tasting, and it was all barrel ceilings. There was a full steam room. There was I put in a $22,000 brass tub, and this guy basically trusted me with this over $1 million renovation, just me. And I was probably only 32 years old. And I finished it, and it was on time, and it was on budget, and it came out perfectly. And at that point, when I finished that, and he was so happy, I pretty much at that point knew I could do anything, because it was a really, really intense job.
That's sick.
That's a good story, buddy.
I like that story, man. That was really well done.
That was good.
Oh, thanks.
Well, I'm assuming, Wanya, I'll let you take.
I don't know. I don't know.
Nation route as an answer.
Oh, I don't know.
If you want or not.
You give her. I don't know what mine is.
I've got two things. I think, obviously, I think the formation of the nation and kind of where we've taken it to in terms of how we've been able to build a community of just like-minded people around a sport and a team that we love, and building a lifestyle together around that, I think has been a very proud achievement. And that just gets validated when we do like community events, and a bunch of people attend these things, and just we have such good conversations around that. Just kind of like the community that the nation has become is something I'm very proud of and happy to play a role in that, because there's there's so many good people out there, and I really feel like we've worked together to build something neat. And anytime we do a trip, or we have an event, or even if we're just at a game or at a bar or what, doesn't matter, that's a very proud moment for me to say I played a small role in that. So thank you. Oh, hey, hot dog. My dog just came up to say hi to me. I'm proud of this guy too. And then secondly, sorry, it's a twofold answer, and sorry, Wanye, if I'm stealing something from you.
No, buddy, give her.
The second one I'm proud of is clearly Wanye and I, have done some some things right, many things wrong. And I'm proud because of the fact that because of the body of work that we had built at a point in time, this is years back, that a guy like Sonny approached us with trusting us to help build out Oodle Noodle for him. And where we've collectively have gotten it to today is I'm very proud of. And that kind of hit me this weekend while I was driving around. I was doing beer delivery, and I was in this like deep south pocket of Edmonton. I'm like, where the fuck am I?
Oh yeah, I know exactly where you were.
And then I pulled it, and then I turned the corner. I'm like, holy shit, Orchard Gate Oodle Noodles here. I'm like, that's fucking cool.
Yeah,
I'm like, holy cow. I'm like, that's fucking rad. I'm like, we've done something good here. So I'm just proud. I'm very proud of that, and I'm very thankful and grateful that Sonny looked at what we were doing as something that's like, I want to work with those guys.
That's cool.
So that's mine.
I like that.
Wanye?
I don't know. I think that, like, for me, lots of like serendipitous stuff I find really cool. I remember one time I was at a bar in Hermosillo in Mexico with my buddies, and there was an Oilers Nation sticker in the bathroom. And I was like, oh man, that's so funny. Which one of you guys put that in there? And it wasn't any of them. It was like somebody else had put that sticker in the bathroom in the middle of Nowheresville in Mexico. And then remember when we were in Asia, Jay, and we saw the Oilers Nation sticker?
Yeah.
Where were we when that happened?
And it wasn't you guys?
Nope.
It was in Thailand. It was in
Thailand.
Thailand somewhere, yeah.
Yeah, we were walking down the street. And Jay's like, hey, look, that kind of stuff to me is what, to me, is like the coolest stuff.
Yeah, I think when you look back at stuff like this, and what you'll probably realize too, I mean, sure you realize it all the time, but like all those series of little wins that make you proud, they don't mean as much as like the little losses. Like the little losses, like stick with you and they like kill you. And then the big wins, you kind of just go like at the time, yeah, like this is awesome. But like I've witnessed your two, like the nation growing, but not just that, but like the River Valley Company and stuff. Like you guys have a huge building on the go right now. Like that's a huge achievement, and that's something that I was expecting one of you to say. Like, it took us a long time to get here, and everything that we do, just keeps getting stepped up and bigger in scale. And this is the biggest one I think to date, and therefore, seemed like that would be one that I'd be very proud of.
Yeah, it's true, and it's weird to kind of just step over that big, but everything kind of leads everything that we're doing from a Oodle Noodle standpoint and an Oilers Nation and Nation Network standpoint is kind of leading up to like this big overarching project that is the River Valley Company. So like another thing, Wanye, that we should be proud of is the fact of the impact Little Brick has caused in the sense of from a community building in the River Valley to, getting attention on weird like world stages, like being featured in En Route magazine. Like that's fucking crazy. I used to fly Air Canada and read a magazine and be like, whoa, it'd be crazy to be like those people that do that. Like they're so talented in this, and like to build a team.
KLM Airlines. I felt like a gangster when they're like, KLM Airlines reached out and said, we're doing a direct flight from Stockholm to Edmonton, and we would like to. Oh, Amsterdam. That's right. Sorry. And we'd like to feature Little Brick. And I was like, how do you guys know about Little Brick? And they're like, we have a team that identifies hotspots. And I was like, oh, really? That's gangster as fuck.
Well, and where I felt cool about that, and sorry, it's a long, is so they came and shot some video stuff, and they asked me, like, oh, this is like, they asked what else we do, so we talked about the hockey stuff, and they're like, oh, can you help us with a hockey video? So they got ice time booked at West Edmonton Mall, and we shot like a how to play hockey video. So it was me teaching it, and I know someone from the Netherlands who was flying a flight and saw that video on the plane.
Hold on. There's a video of you on KLM Airlines.
Yeah,
people play hockey. Yeah, see, it's shit like that has nothing to do with money at all. And I'm like, good God, that's success.
Well, it's just cool to be like, wow, like we actually did something that people like want to like get involved with or do something like that or feature it somewhere else. So it's kind of neat. But like once again, all of this is like a team thing, right? Like if we don't, if we don't work with people like, your Remchuk and Bag Milk and Gregor and other people across the network, that we can't create this type of attention. So it's
Chalmers for sure.
Well, in Chalmers, but I'm just.
I'm a member of the. I think I'm inactive at the moment, but I'm a member of the Stanford Entrepreneurship Association. Stanford Latino Entrepreneurship Association. Despite the fact I've never been to Stanford as a student and I'm not Latino, I am a member of that. That's cool. Because of my work at Stanford, for real.
Oh.
Nice.
Bagged Milk, I'll extend this question to you quickly. We don't have a lot of time, only about 5 minutes left in the pod here. But in your time with the nation, is there one thing that you've been a part of that stands out above the rest?
I actually really thought you were going to ask me about my OnlyFans account and how I'm moving units and just volume of feet pictures through Instagram. So, like, if you want jelly on the toes, that's like $3 or $4. If you want peanut butter and jelly, now we're going to 4 to 6. So I thought that's where you were going, but
no.
I guess I can answer a nation question.
Hold on. Answer the nation question in a second. What the hell are you talking about OnlyFans? What is this?
Someone explain to Chalmers what OnlyFans is.
Chalmers, OnlyFans.
We've done this already once in the last 3 shows, Chalmers. Go ahead.
OnlyFans is where artists like myself go to express themselves.
It's a paid porn site.
Oh, nice.
But it's like the iTunes of porn. All these people go on there and their super fans pay them for chatting or whatever the fuck it is. And people are getting so rich off OnlyFans.
Really?
Yeah.
It's actually very democratizing. And porn always leads the way for monetization. I learned that at the Stanford Latino Entrepreneurship Association.
Jesus.
All right.
But for real.
Hey, sorry to interrupt you. Bag Milk, I want you to finish your sentence because I want to know, too.
Well, I mean, my time with the nation, I've been doing stuff in some capacity, one capacity or another for a long, long time. I got to see it go from, well, I didn't know at the time, talking to people that ended up being Wanye and Jay just with multiple personalities in the comment section. So I started at that point. I remember one of the first times that I hung out with Wanye, he took me to one of the original quote unquote HQs, which is now the apartment that Zach Lang lives in. So it's
Notchwood?
Yeah, that's right. I was like, hey, you want to come see our office? He's like, this is just a condo with a desk in it. I'm like, well, everything's just something else, really.
So I've seen it go from that to what it is now at Little Brick Cafe. And then I've also, I mean, even my first day working full time at the nation was in a Fountain Tire. And there was dust pouring over the wall that didn't go to the roof because they were cleaning their bays and shit. And then there was like this wild haircut, the hairdresser that came in, and she would just be like, your car's getting towed. You need to get out there. And I was like, oh shit, what's going on? So to go from the apartment to the Fountain Tire to Little Brick and who knows where else it's been a hell of a ride, man. It's been a hell of a ride.
Remember your directions on that day, Bagwell? Remember what did I say to you? I was just like, what are you doing? Do whatever you want. I'll see you later. And I left.
Yeah, kind of like my first day. I was just, all right, is there anything in particular you guys want me to work on? And they were just like, no, whatever you want. And then that was kind of it. So,
because I remember we had a meeting, me and Jay, and I was like, we got to get some more people in here. It's weird. Our office is so empty. I was like, let's get Bag Milk in here. He'll know what to do. But like the assumption was when you arrived, you'd know what to do. That was your direction.
It was our dream to try to just unlock enough revenue to one day be able to get Bag Milk full time on the team.
Yeah, just one person on the team.
Well, and so that's how it started, is me just filling my day with random shit and contests. And we did some charity initiatives early on and some auctions early on. And it was just kind of a matter of plugging holes wherever they needed to be filled, really.
See, we were right. You did know what to do.
Yeah.
I mean, then it's crazy to think that was 7 years ago almost.
Wow.
Bag Milk brought in to plug some holes, similar to his OnlyFans account.
Again, OnlyFans account, plugging holes.
There it is.
I've got an update, everyone.
Okay.
Timothy Tour has texted me back.
Yeah.
To my question if he wants to gun some Quarantine Nation beers, and he goes, ha, yeah, I do. How are they? Better than Last Nation beer? Ow. Ow. I will tell you the Last Nation beer wasn't that good. That's why we stopped it. But now we've partnered up with some excellent people and brewmasters at Dog Island. And I can stand by this beer and say it is good. The fan reaction, I shouldn't say fan, the citizen reaction has been great to it. So much so that on the second round of doing deliveries, I'm going back to people who had bought a 4-pack last time and dropping off a flat. So I'm very proud of our partnership with Dog Island. So Timothy Tour, you're getting some delicious Nation beer, my friend.
You're not allowed to say fans anymore, man. Only Fans owns the word fans.
Well, no, and it's not fans because we're a community and we're
no. But you can't say it. They own the term. It's like how Disney owns Angels.
Oh, fair.
Or Victoria's Secret owns Angels. If you do any promotions of a private event with an angel in it of any scale, Victoria's Secret owns the rights to the idea of angels. That's how fans are now with OnlyFans.
I've learned a lot on this podcast.
Well, it's an informative podcast.
You know what I learned that you told me we were going to keep it 100 and that we are definitely not keeping it 100 today.
That's on Thursdays.
Thursdays are for keeping it 100. Mondays are for listener submitted questions. And
this podcast started with you going, "What'd you do this weekend?" I said, "I went to see my sister." You interrupted me, and that was an hour and a half ago.
That's true.
There were a bunch of questions. Brad Stepanko, Alice Moran had one too, but we're out of time.
Let's do our next show.
Yeah, we could do one next Thursday. We could save these for next Monday as well, but we got a bunch on Twitter and Instagram and all that. Maybe we'll start it a little bit earlier on the next podcast, taking listener cues.
Alice Moran's was very interesting, so you should send that to everyone beforehand to think about, because we could go weird with it.
Okay, we will do that.
Can I just keep it 100 since I missed Thursday? Just quickly?
No, save it for Thursday.
No,
hold on. You brought back Keep It 100 and Chalmers wasn't part of it?
Yes.
Chalmers missed out.
I missed it.
Let him squeeze one in. Let him squeeze one in.
Fine, go.
That's my OnlyFans account.
It only makes sense today. Today marks the 27th. 27 years ago today, the greatest boy band ever made was assembled and took their first picture together.
They're Backstreet Men now.
What's that?
They're Backstreet Men now.
Yeah, they're the street men now, and they are the best. And I remember when I was 16 years old hearing their first song in Europe, and New Kids on the Block, they were the pioneers. They were 5. Menudo was, but then it went to New Kids on the Block. But Backstreet Boys will forever be the best. The king of the boy band. That's keeping it 100.
All right, there you go. That's how we're ending the podcast. Big shout out to our sponsor, Japa Equipment. We love them very, very much. Big shout out to Oodle Noodle. Make sure you order it online or on Skip the Dishes. And a big shout out to Nation Beer, which you can now find in 40 liquor stores across the province and even in Calgary. So suck it, Flames fans. That's going to do it for episode 173 of Nation Real Life. Talk to you again on Thursday.
Great job on making it through the entire hour of the Real Life podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts from.